It's cold outside. As you can see, I make more videos in the winter, which is a thing I said before winter started. You know, that I usually am more productive in the winter because you can't go outside and do stuff that I would do outside. So I sit down in front of the camera and I talk, and it's fun for me to edit little like channel changing clips of things that I think will be good and do like my little lo-fi chill jams thing. But I want to talk about snow. When I was growing up, there used to be a lot of snow, and you know, like 3 feet of snow, and then there'd be snow drifts, and you could just build a snow fort, and tunnel through the snow because it would be, you know, 3 feet of snow, and then it would drift. So you could make, it was fun, you know, kids getting together and just like digging out tunnels, and then they collapse on you, and you're like, and you have to just get out or be, you know. I remember happening when I was a kid, where a good thing my mom was watching, but I had a really cool snow fort, and it just collapsed on me. She had to like pull me out of it, like frantically digging me out, and I could hear her, but I can't do anything. And now I don't like tunnels. No, I'm fine. But we used to get snow, and it was expected that they were going to shut the lights out, so we had a wood stove, because we needed it, because every winter we were without power, and it was just cheaper and more effective to heat the house in the winter without having to pay the electric bill. It was cheaper to get wood, even cheaper to get coal, so you have a coal stove, wood stove, and I just grew up with that. And it was to be expected that we were going to get inclement weather and you wouldn't be able to go anywhere and do stuff. And then, you know, that was it. That's when we'd make ice cream. We had an ice cream maker that you stir it around, and we'd take snow and we put milk. I even think we put like raw eggs or something in ice cream. I don't know if I'd recommend that today. And then we make, like, my mom put cocoa powder and sugar, and we just stir it inside like a metal can or something. And then, you know, like, hey, it's cold outside. Let's make ice cream, because you can't go anywhere and do anything once you're done shoveling. But I was at somebody else's house, and on the news we're supposed to get like a foot of snow, which is like nothing compared to what was to be expected every single year my entire youth growing up. So we're supposed to get, you know, like they're terrifying across the country. Oh, this weather, because they fly over with jets, and they told us we were crazy. And now in the UK they're like, yeah, we're gonna fly over with jets to affect changes in weather patterns to block out the sun. Meanwhile, the whole time that they were already doing that, they're telling everybody, you're crazy, chemtrails, you guys are nuts. And Snopes is like, nopes, whatever, assholes. So we're getting some snow, and we've already had it. But this time I saw the news, and on the news they were showing you how the store shelves were wiped out, like when we went under lockdowns, because nobody knew it was happening all over the world and people were losing their shit. Now we're getting like some snow, and people are like, we gotta have everything. We gotta, and they're wiping the store shelves out because we're gonna get snow, like 2 days of snow. That's nothing. Like, I remember my youth, we got a lot of snow every year. I don't know, I guess it's different now because people are traumatized, you know, globally, or whatever shape you believe the planet is. Across the firmament, people are traumatized, okay? Whatever. So, I just thought it was not so good. It was not a good sign that, you know, and probably if I checked, like, you know, if you I don't know where you live, but there's probably like across the nation, because all news is the same news. Did you ever see my video I did called All News is the Same News? It has like zombie apocalypse as a thumbnail. Go find that one. That's on YouTube. That's kind of recent. And you get to see 15 minutes of how across the country they get the same script to read. So all the newscasters read the same words over and over again. So I don't doubt that across the country, they're probably telling like, look, the store shelves are wiped clean, because they want to put that fear and scarcity and lack mentality in all of us, that there's not enough to go around. So they want people to wipe the store shelves because it's going to snow, and then 2 days later, probably 1 day later, people are going to be driving around and all this stuff, and it's nothing. But, you know, it's not a good effect that I've seen. I've noticed like people are, this is not rational thinking, and it's part of that divide and conquer strategy. Isolate. No, I got to get mine whole up because there might be, you know what I mean. Like I had I had a friend that grew up, and she told me about how she grew up. Like they didn't have electric, and her dad, she helped build their house with the dad, and they went through whole winters until everything was built where they just didn't have heat. So they had to bundle up inside a house, and they didn't even have like a barrel they threw fire in, like bums or whatever. It was just really, really cold inside the house, and they had to sleep with a parka on, covered up, and put the blankets over their face. And in the olden days, people used to crumple up newspapers and put them in their beds under the covers with them, and they put several layers of covers. And some people would sleep on hay. I don't know if you know about straw or hay, but it is like a survival thing, where if you can crawl into a pile of hay, it heats up when you're in your body. Helps it heat up, and animals know this, and they'll crawl into like straw and hay and barns and stuff. Again, the neighbor had a barn. I grew up with that kind of stuff too. And like cats or whatever, like how you survive, and they crawl inside the hay because it heats up when you're inside of it from your body heat, and it keeps you alive. But people would sleep on this. They have like a bed of straw or hay. I forget which one it was. Probably both work the same. And it's like, I think it has something to do with your body heat and the decomposition or whatever. But anyway, it helps sustain you. So there'll be people rushing out to buy straw with money that's worthless, whatever, with your bills. So yeah, they're trying to scare us again. I don't know, study permaculture, learn how to grow food. I mean, they're planning on shutting the lights out. I did that video already. If you look on the video, it's already out, I think. It's called Societal Collapse, and it has the guy from the Asian zombie movie, and he's standing out on the balcony with a selfie stick, and the zombies and he's like filming him with the zombies below him. I don't know to who or whatever. The phone still works. But I thought it's a good thumbnail because people are like that now. Like if there was a zombie, I'm sure it's been done in zombie movies where they're like showing it on their phone, like, look, here's me running away from the zombies. Wasn't that like in Zombieland or something? Yeah. It's not good. You know what I mean? I would say that's not a healthy thing, that impulse to be like the store shelves are wiped out. And that's the other thing I heard too, like somebody was trying to get to the meat market, and we saw the news story, and they said, yeah, I tried to go to the meat market like 3 times and it was so full, there was no place to park. And then finally, the 3rd time when they did get in there, the store was wiped out, and they were like trying to restock just because it's gonna snow. Like I grew up, it's just been put into our minds is the point. Like we didn't worry about that. And besides, in the olden days, there kind of was a store, like, like we used to can things or eat things out of cans, and it was really cold, and we'd go outside and play in the snow when there was too much of it, and then come in and make ice cream or have hot cocoa or something. And it wasn't a big deal. It was part of every year my entire youth growing up. Now the store shelves are empty because snow. It's not a new thing. You know that California is like one of those, I don't know what you want to call it, like types of ground zeros we have people manipulated in California. I've seen comedy bits from sketch comedy shows, like probably Mad TV and SNL both years ago, like in the 90s, did comedy bits about rain coming in California and how people lose their shit just because it's going to rain and they freak out. I mean, and that was a long time ago. So now look at how that's been, affected people, nationally across America, where we're going to get some snow. Oh, it's going to be a lot. It was a lot every year. Right before they started flying over with jets to just put weird shit in the water so that we are receptive to our cell phone 5G or whatever they put in them. You hear about this? They're putting stuff. It's like one of those like things you're really not supposed to talk about. If you know the word of what it is that they're putting in water, by flying over. Go watch my video. Well, anyway, you're not supposed to say that word, so I'm not going to say it. Because people are getting their videos struck down over that word, because channels that I watch said, I said that word that you're not supposed to say, and then they bleep the word out, and I'm like, oh, I guess you can't say that. So they're putting stuff in the water, and then that stuff goes inside us, and it's to make us like receptive to that voice of God technology, or alpha waves, which is extremely low frequency stuff, and how they use that is with 5G. And then Stephen King writes that predictive programming book called Cell, where people turn into zombies through their cell phones by sound, because we're affected by frequencies. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Word, right? Word to your Father who art in heaven. So, a word is a sound. So frequencies have an effect on us. Didn't you ever see The Secret? Remember The Secret? Right before all the economic downturn stuff, where people are jumping out of windows because of their stocks, and in 2008, and in other places, people don't even know what a stock is, and they're like just, eating local, because that's all that there is. What a luxury to have some kind of imported thing. And they don't even know what stocks are. Did I say that part? This is the whole point. Yeah. So they got us. They got to a lot of people. I don't know what, I'm guessing like a similar thing is probably happening in other countries with weather. But we know now that, we openly know that they manipulate weather. One of the clips I like to use, maybe I'll use it in this video, maybe I'll just put it up front or whatever, like NASA Cloud Machine. And then this shows you very noisily NASA making clouds, and then they go up into the sky. That's weird. The Saudi royals, they shoot barium rockets into the sky because they're rich, and then that makes it so that they can have lawns in the desert, because they can afford to shoot barium rockets in the sky. There's the Wilhelm old tech called the Cloudbuster gun, where you point, it looks like one of those Star Wars Hoth guns things, and you point it up at this, it's just like a bunch of pipes, and you point it up at the sky, and it makes it rain down, where you shoot like a gun into the sky, and it's like using the energy of Coombs or something like this. Wilhelm Reich was a weirdo. Do you ever hear about the Wilhelm Reich orgone accumulators, where he made these little things that I will call wacky shacks, and you go in there and you whack it in the shack, and then he harvested the energy of your orgasms, and to do whatever, it's probably making very unhappy spirits, right? It's half of an equation. There's a man and a woman, they join together, and that's how a man is born into the world, right? Something from the man, something from the woman, get together, a tremendous amount of energy is, harvested and put together. That's how we get here. So if you're half of an equation and you're beating it, whether you're flicking your bean or stroking it, women, men, probably that in your loan, that energy is being harvested by demons who watch you goon, and that's probably how demons are made. Demons with your eyebrows. So, and they use it to, weather tech, I guess is what I was talking about. We know that there's geoengineering. Neil the Ass Tyson, who's like a big phony bozo, like, idiot. I don't like him. He said, yeah, of course there's geoengineering. That's one of the things I heard from him, like, did they tell you could say that? Is that part of whatever? So yeah, geoengineering's a thing. We know it's a thing. It's probably still up on Rumble. Go look for my Cowboy Bebop video. Go through 20 pages of my Rumble videos to find it. And I have a Cowboy Bebop video where I show you the clip of Department of Weather Control, or you can just watch the Cowboy Bebop movie for free on YouTube. The whole plot of the movie is about releasing a virus through the air through weather tech. So Cowboy Bebop goes to the Department of Weather Control, and they put a vaccine into the air, and then they drop it down on us. Did you ever see those videos where they call them vaxquitos? And they're like mosquito. It's like it's in Russia or something. It's probably here too, in America. And there was like people were swatting mosquitoes that had numbers on them. Great. So, and then I heard they're just covering livestock with it, like hosing livestock with whatever they want to put on them. Antibiotics was one of the things they've been doing for years. And antibiotic means anti-life. And you know what happens with people with antibiotics. If you use them you got to save them so they can save your life. Because if you use them too much all the time, then they don't work. So, yeah, I mean, one of the things, I have these books on, it was like Russia's social engineering program for the Russians that kind of was inculcated starting in 1994 and kind of took hold, that Putin had to acknowledge, these Ringing Cedars of Russia books. And in these Ringing Cedars of Russia books, it looks like the plans for globalization, it makes the plans for globalization look like a New Age prophecy. And they said in the future of Russia that they won't allow the jets to fly over the skies in Russia, which is, nobody was talking about that stuff, like in the 90s and before the chemtrails and stuff. But basically what they're saying is the Russians have a program for them where they're not going to go along with flying over the sky. They're not going to let anybody fly over the skies spraying stuff down, because Russia wants the Russians to win. And they have the repressive ways that you have to live over there, and it's all mob stuff, and you got to pay the bribes and everything to get anything done. Okay, that's Russia. But also, and Putin's like, whatever, and whoever's controlling him. Okay, fine. Astana, is that the seat of the New World Capital? Astana, which sounds like Satana, which is like the Hebrew word for Satan. I don't know. Go look in my playlist called Stuff Other People Made for you to watch, and you'll see videos that are like over a decade old where people made like flash animations of the destruction of Astana. This has been like a known thing for a long time. Astana's the smart city that already exists that you don't know about, and it's all phoenixes and pyramids and shit like that, and it's weird. It's a smart city. It already exists. And where was I going? Oh yeah, China. China wants China to win. So they have, about how they have to live and everything. But China wants China to thrive and all the weird shit they do over there. Yeah. I mean, that's what they called it. My favorite aunt, she's a great aunt actually, and we're pen pals. And whenever she would write something to me when we were locked up, she called it the China flu, because she's older than me, and she would always call it the China flu. I like that. That's what I should call it, the China flu. So, yeah, I mean, it's not good, I guess, that they got people to scramble and wipe out the store shelves in the supermarket. Which is like having a flashback, right? This is like kind of like PTSD. They used to call it shell shock. Now they call it PTSD. Now what do they call it? They keep changing, There's a George Carlin bit years ago here. He talked about how they keep dehumanizing our language to make it politically correct so that you don't care about people and you just think of it as a condition. Dehumanizing. And that being said, if you know what what being a humanist is, I'm not one. I'm not a humanist. I don't like that word either. That's like a dehumanizing type of misleading term, right? Like in like in 1984, they say, the ministry of health makes you sick, the ministry of peace starts wars, the ministry of love spews hate and division and all these things. Like when they say it's diversity, what they're really saying is, part of our divide and conquer strategy is to make you think about how different everybody is. So we have to treat everybody differently, and that's diversity, which is like a new brand of racism, which is part of a divide and conquer strategy. Diversity breeds division, and that's why everybody hates DEI. And in some point in our near future, DEI is just going to change it, just going to switch it around, the acronym or whatever, they're going to switch it around to DIE and just call it die, and NASA's going to put a T in it, N in it, and just it's going to put a T in there, and it's going to be Satan. So Yeah, I guess I just wanted to make a video to complain about people overreacting because weather. But you've seen this, like, all over the world, the mass power outages. That's they're trying to fluff us up, like, hey, everybody, get ready to be scared because we're going to shut the lights out. And they want you to think that AI is a foregone conclusion, so they just keep pushing through. Hey, they put up an AI center or whatever they call those, and now people are bitching because they don't have water because it's all going to people making their own homemade porns and have Michael Jackson steal chicken buckets and all this stuff for AI. Why does it have to be local water? Why don't they just use water from the ocean? That's bullshit. Why, you know what I mean? It's just all, this is taking everything away from us. You can't have water. We have to have the AI thing everywhere. We're going to burn down real estate for smart cities and then make the cost of living go up because they put in an AI center thing because AI shit. And live in the pod, eat the bug. That's what all this shit is all about. It's all just fear tactics. It's all, well, divide and conquer, but it's also the breeding this fear and scarcity and lack, and then go online and talk about it and listen to Penguin Z0 videos of how, hey guys, you believe that this is evil, and then it just gets people to think that you should give up on it instead of just saying no and just keep, like, pray. I would say pray. Pray against all these things. If they, pray to God, like, Lord, please destroy the World Economic Forum plans for you will live in a pod, eat the bugs, own nothing, and be happy. Please, Lord, I pray, and just keep praying it every day, like the persistent widow in Luke 18, and just really keep praying over, like in the morning, in the night, if you have, get to pray at noon, even on your lunch, inside your head, say, please, Lord, hear my prayers inside your holy temple, what I am. I pray for the destruction of those plans that Klaus Schwab announced to the world, where he said, live in the pod and eat the bugs. Destroy that plan. Destroy, expose and shame and humiliate Elon Musk into making that car so that you can buy it instead of, Elon Musk made a car and you can't buy it, you can only lease it, and Bezos says, hey, you guys don't need video consoles anymore, I don't think you should have them. And when you guys stayed at home, now everybody just orders shit from Amazon. You see how that one works? I'm sure you're already way on top of it. When I saw those Amazon trucks going everywhere when I was supposed to be at home and I was just going wherever I wanted and having jaunts when they said don't go anywhere and nobody cared, and I just do kind of like, just, it was like really quiet. It was like cool. It was like nobody's doing anything. It was like I had the whole world to myself. And everybody's inside, biting their nails through their masks. It got to me too. I'm not saying I was unaffected by this. I hated seeing what it was doing to other people. And to me, we're all being traumatized. I'm not denying that. I was like, okay, what are they doing? I don't like it. I mean, I was telling people not to stand in line to have this done to them in 2007. I had a coworker. We used to drive around in a truck together, and I kept telling them, like, this one of the plans, they're gonna make us do this. And I thought as soon as Obama became president that they were gonna make us, have that done to us. It just took a little longer to get there. So, now the youth are nostalgic about 2020 because that's the programming. Like, they want us to like the idea of living in the pod, eating the bugs, and owning nothing. Just, you'll have your little micro cubicle, you'll live in there, you can have your shows to watch, and just as long as you behave and you obey, you can, your life pod, coon pod, death pod, that'll be your stages of life. And you'll stay inside that chrysalis and you'll never emerge out into the world and be a butterfly. You'll stay in the pupa stage forever unto death, and then they'll recycle your body and we'll eat each other. Literally. That's the Soylent Green story, right? So I'm not saying that they'll get their way. I'm just saying that that's the plans. That's why we're supposed to pray that their plans would fail. Pray that God would cut them off so that their sacrifices don't work anymore. And every time they attempt to do a ritual sacrifice as they're preparing, let the preparations create within them a fire that burns them and the demons they wish to summon to get things from. So it hurts everybody involved of trying to, be the ambassador for the arts in the Ukraine or whatever. look, there's horrible times in the Ukraine and all this conflict, and they're going to push people around and move them here and there, and they're lighting up Chanukah candles, and Abramovic is the ambassador to the arts for the children. Do the children really need art when they're being, killed? And yeah, that's the whole point. That's why we're going in there. We need our number one witch to go in there and do art installations in their blood, to Satan, because that's what's underneath it all, right? Let's light a menorah with the blood, with the fat of sacrificed children after we, ate them or whatever. So, go watch my Dark Crystal review video. I think I want to do it again. I think I could do it better. There's some things that kind of didn't match up in my Dark Crystal review, and I think I have another take in me about that. If you like my Dark Crystal review, that was one of those videos that was catching some momentum, and then you could just see it get cut off. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you think about all this stuff they're doing to us? Do not fear, do not become dispirited. And one of the things that helps is pray to ask for God. He should be your strength. When I am weak, He is strong. You were supposed to pray. Like, we're made to do this. We're supposed to use our words. He said, if you want help, come to me. Don't go to anybody else. That's what people are doing. They're worshiping false demons, and look at what happens. A lot of people that are worshiping false idols, hey, I'm manifesting stuff, and then they don't really manifest anything. They're like, oh, something kind of happened, so I'm just going to keep on praying and worshiping idols and doing new age shit. And it always keeps you on the precipice of almost getting somewhere. Or there was that one time when it worked, and then you keep chasing that dragon, and it never is the same as that one time where something worked or sort of almost worked. And then you just stay miserable doing new age shit, and all you do is you're just like manifesting more trouble for yourself and hoping that maybe it's gonna sort of kind of get better, and it never really does. Yeah, that's how they keep you going. I mean, a lot of people will do rituals and stuff, and it doesn't really work out, but it almost seems like it's gonna. So if I could just offer more and be more dedicated to my filth and the rituals and all this stuff, it's gonna work. I just need more dedication. You just keep paying tribute to false idols and demons, and you never get anything. What they really want is blood, and what it costs you is pieces of your soul. And apparently it's pretty easy to sell your soul. According to Little Tony, all you have to do is oral or anal, and then that's one way of selling your pieces of your soul, if not the whole thing. And I know that there's like some people that say, like you can't sell your soul. And in the past I said you can't sell your soul, it belongs to God. Ultimately, yes, everything belongs to God. He made it all, it's all His, even the demons. But you can sell your soul, like Jesus did say in the Bible. He talks about people selling their souls. Or at least fragments of them. And then the more time you make deals and conspire with forces of darkness, whether wittingly or unwittingly, you're losing pieces of yourself. You're losing yourself. And the only way you can get it back is with God, and repent, and to give up the things that you got by doing evil. And then, it's like kind of like the deal's off. You have to like break contracts, and that has consequences. And contracts with demons. I mean, we consummate contracts with demons when we sleep. You'd think you're having a dream where you had like this hot orgy with Titty Sweetie and all her friends, and really what it is you were in a gangbang with demons. And if you drop goo and you wake up and there's a cold doubloon on your thigh, you've consummated a contract or a demon or a marriage of sorts with demons. Did I say that right? Yeah. So you thought it was cool, like, wow, I had this like great dream with this hot babe, and a couple times she glitched out and looked like a demon or something, but it's still a cool dream. Wet one, involuntary discharge, is a whole part of Leviticus about this, about laws of bodily fluids, and it says if you have an involuntary discharge in your sleep, you got to go outside camp. Everything's unclean. You got to wash your clothes in a river, all this stuff. and yeah, you had sex with demons. You just got gangbanged by a bunch of demons, and you thought it was cool. You're really gonna let demons blow you in your dream because it's like your favorite fill-in-the-blank celebrity? No, it was a demon. They're lying. They're lying to you. They want you to consummate evil covenants. They want to get you to do bad stuff in your dreams, so that in your dreams you can say, like, demons are trying to do this to you in your dreams. I don't know if you know this. You know, like you do something in your dream that you're not supposed to do, like a sort of like an impure action or something, like get you steal stuff or whatever. Then the demons say, but in the dream they did the thing. They did the, you know, they fornicated in the dream. That's that celebrity that I pretended to be is somebody else's spouse, and we did all kinds of nasty stuff. So now, Lord, you know, technically I can do this because they went along with it. I mean, I've had dreams where I knew I was not supposed to be doing stuff, and I'm like, I can't do that, and I gotta wake up and I end the dream. Or I call out in Jesus' name when a hot demon's pretending to be somebody, and they're looking in my eyes. I'm like, I don't like the way she's looking into my eyes, and I'm like, just knowing, just having the thought, I have to call out for Jesus, and I wake up. And it's worth practicing to get good at, you know. Yeah, they go after us when we sleep. That's how they suck. And if you're on the right track or you're fasting, these seem to be times when the demons try to influence through the astral realm, through the dream realm. God told us there are realms, there's principalities, and whatever else he said. There's a whole bunch of different places and levels. Like, there's so much stuff going on. Like, you probably wouldn't want to see all the stuff that's happening. Do you remember in what's it called, Kiss of a Vampire? No, the Vampire Diaries? What's it called? Interview with a Vampire. Anne Rice interviewed a vampire, and there's that movie about Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt having a love affair with each other, and they're vampires. And when Tom Cruise makes Brad Pitt into a vampire, he starts to see all these things in the world that you can't normally see, like the statues come alive, and he's seeing spirits, and it's been a long time since I've seen that. You see all these, you know, you give up your soul, and then you can see this other world or whatever. And of course you're damned, right? And the price is your soul. What do you want to be after high school, Bella? Are you tired of hearing me say this one? What do you want to be after high school, Bella? Do you want to be a vampire or werewolf? Do you want to roll around with the dogs down here doing little rituals? Or do you want to drink some blood and be one of the elites? And then Bella decides to become a vampire, and she marries Robert Pattinson and becomes a soulless creature that feeds off the blood of the living. God didn't want us to drink any blood at all. So even in the vampire movies, they said, but I don't drink human blood, I drink animal blood. The point is, Sam Hyde, you're not allowed to drink blood. That hasn't changed. That's in Leviticus 2, the rules of blood play or whatever. And basically what it is don't drink blood. So we're not supposed to drink the blood of animals, not even if we're training for a YouTuber boxing matches. It's forbidden. I mean, we have free will. You can do it if you want to, but you do it at your own peril. We're not supposed to drink blood because you get something from it. It's an offering to a demon. If you take the blood of an animal and drink it, demons are getting that blood. What do we know about demons? One person can have a lot of demons in them, because Jesus was casting demons out of a man, and he put him in the swine, and he asked the demon, he said, what's your name? And the demon said, our name is Legion, for we are many. Because the guy had a lot of demons in him. What's a legion? It's like 6,000 soldiers. And the point is, it's a lot. So if one person back in the days when Jesus walked the earth can have a lot of demons in him, have any idea how many demons people have in them today from just watching horror movies and beating off and saying horrible things about people, like what you're going to do to somebody, and you like have violent thoughts, or you get angry about a sports game, or you're like, you know, doing weird stuff. You're playing video games, you go around, you spent years of your life where your hobby is killing people in a game. You've ritually done the act of murder. When you play a video game and you go around killing people, it'd be better that you be a heel slut in a game. healing people than, than going around. You're murdering people. You're symbolically, ritually murdering people over and over and over again. Which reminds me of one of my favorite jokes of comedy. I think it was Dimitri Martin. Whether you like him or not, it doesn't matter. But he had this one joke where, when are they going to make a video game where all the people that get hurt and wounded in video games go? He said the video game would have to be called something like Super Busy Hospital, because it's the point of video games. You're going around killing everything. Like in some games, you can just go around and frag the landscape. I mean, even in Mario, you're like killing flora and fauna. Like that's part of the Mario thing. You're killing this mushrooms and snails and turtles and little dragons and stuff, Roshi dogs and all these things, and whatever, you eat things and stuff like that. You take mushrooms and fly around in a raccoon suit. You're smashing through landscape for coins. And Sonic the Hedgehog, and look at Sonic the Hedgehog, people sexually fetishize him. What the hell did Sega do in the 90s to make it so that kids want to beat off to Sonic the Hedgehog taking his shoes off? What the hell happened? It's something. It's not good. So anyway, I don't know, like, if you've ever looked at the brain scans for what happens to your brain when you play video games, what it does is it shuts your brain down. Like, why? I saw a JT versus JC video, and he talked about playing video games. I'm like, why would that guy play video games? Like, don't you know that it's shutting your brain down? I don't care what he's playing. Like, video games equals what your brain looks like when people took ecstasy in the 90s. The brain scans for looking at dirty videos and pictures, and the brain scans for taking drugs and doing weed, and the brain scans for playing video games are the same. They're shutting your brain down. Why would you do that? Oh, doom scrolling, I think, is the latest brain scans that I'm aware of, where if you spend too much time doom scrolling and they scan people's brains and like, yeah, it's shutting your brains down. That's like telling you, like, hey, if you keep doing this, this is what you're doing to yourself. And then the demons are like, but they saw the brain scans. Lord, you know everything. You're omniscient. You're all-knowing. You saw that they know that shuts down your brain, and yet they keep playing games. They keep, whatever it is you're doing. They're not shit you're not supposed to do. And I say shit too much. I'm working on it. I'm not gonna bleep it out, but there's a whole bunch of videos coming where I do bleep it out, so, I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, like, I think people are overreacting to snow. But they're not overreacting. Like, maybe you want to do something about, your money being worthless, and, like, even like, we're going to store food. It runs out. You learn how to grow food, have chickens or whatever, and they're probably going to cry bird flu and to get everybody to fight about chickens. You can't have chickens because we're going to get it. And have neighbors fighting each other because of chickens. Or whatever, whether it's stealing them or our news tells us we got to kill them all. Or whatever. They want us to cling to this phone. They want to traumatize us by taking everything away. Look at what happens to little kids when they take the tablet away. They freak out. So imagine people that are used to having the phone and then they shut everything down for a while. This is how dialectics work. They create a problem and then people cry out and say, do something about it. And then what they want to do about it is say, you gotta put the little pin in your hand and then scan thing on your forehead or whatever they want to do. It's not good. So they traumatize people in all over the world and people went to the comfort of their phone and making videos for each other just to have connection to other people, which is now how it's taken hold. So shut all that down, make us live in a fearful hell for a while, and then say you want the lights to turn back on, and like, yes, please bring the phone back so we can have, so this is how you get us to live in the pod and eat the bugs and own nothing. They're going to say, well, we're not going to own anything anymore, but we will turn the lights back on. We figured out the problems, and we have to take everything away, and you have to live however we say, and that's all they ever wanted. That's how globalization works. That's what they want. Um, and Japan was probably like some kind of patient zero in China for all the things that they did to the Chinese people. Everywhere they've been testing this stuff out on people for years. But look at how Japan has negative population rights. They masturbate to cartoons. The whole nation is enculturated Lolita complex. They worship idols that are girls that aren't even teenagers yet, and the people who worship them are men in their 40s and 50s. And people don't want to live in the real world. They have a thing called fictophilia, where they want to live in the worlds that created in their animes. They're traumatized. That's sad. The women have Lolita complex. They want to be them, and they want to get old. they don't want to get old, I'm sorry. Or married. And it's bad. And they're submissive, and everybody's supposed to go along, and even they're getting pissed off. The Japanese are like, get out of our country. We want to keep making our disgusting anime, and we don't want social justice warriors telling us we can't make it. We're going to make our games and our pornographies the way that it's near and dear to them. Like they're not gonna change it for the whole world. So whatever they're gonna do to Japan, who knows? But like that's what they love. They love the idols they made for themselves. They're idolaters, these poor people, and they need love. It's a sweet, sweet salve that the world needs. So they're loving these things. They're in love with their cartoons and their made-up things and their dolls, and where the body pillows came from Japan. Okay, to be in love with a pillow that looks like a 12-year-old girl with a cartoon candy bar mascot head. It's not even human. Look at what's happening to Koreans. They're getting plastic surgery so that they look like anime, so that they don't look human. They're chiseling their jaws into a point. They're making their eyes bigger, their ears puff out. They're trying to look like anime girls. That's heartbreaking. Korea, the government supports plastic surgery. It's a graduation gift from school. Street sweepers have plastic surgery and frosted tips. I'm not kidding, no shit. Go look at Korea. A lot of people are talking about it. Everybody wants to love Korea. And the vehement K-pop fans, the teenage K-pop girls. Don't you talk about our BTK killers and all this stuff. That's a band. That's a Korean band. They grew up. They had a favor now to BTK killers. Don't talk about our Blackpink or whatever. Yeah, it's not good. But don't you let them. The last refuge of a scoundrel is prayer. Right? I think Lisa Simpson said that. When Bart sold his soul. Do you remember that one? So, we're supposed to pray. We really are. We're supposed to pray against the dying of the light and all that stuff. Really, though, we're supposed to pray against these things. Just because they plan this shit, we're all going back to, like, H.G. Wells propagandizing to us through books and everything, and H.P. Lovecraft talking about worshiping Cthulhu's under the sea and tentacle gods and Dagon and all stuff. Yeah, I mean, the Pope is dressed like Dagon, Dagon priest. Do you know that? He's wearing a big fish hat and everything. That's H.P. Lovecraft shit, but it's real. So the Orthodox, Eastern Orthodox isn't so great. They're dressed up like Dagon. They're dressed up like the priests of Dagon. Go look up the priests of Dagon and how they dressed in carvings and reliefs and carvings and all this stuff. And that's how Orthodox clergy looks like. It's untainted since the beginning. I'm sorry, that's not God. It's been tainted. If your clergy dresses like Dagon priests, it's been infiltrated. Sorry. Sorry, Eastern Orthodox. Sorry, Orthobrozos. Sorry. So you need to set yourself straight with God. Read the Bible. That you want to know God, you want friendship with God, and I'm telling you, you do. You have to read the Bible yourself, not have other people tell you how to read it. Do you really want to be watching videos made by guys who do videos with Alex Jones? Probably not. Sorry, Orthobrozos. I know you like him. Anyway, and his wife. Yeah, like, it's a personal relationship. If you want intimacy in our isolation. The most intimate relationship you could possibly have is the one that you could have with the creator and maker of all things. Do you know that you have a direct line to God where you pray? Forget about the voice of God technology that was predicted programmed to us in the best Val Kilmer movie ever made, Real Genius. Go out, you want to laugh and see stuff that they've been planning for years. I think it's like 1985, the movie with Val Kilmer came out, Real Genius, that shows you he's good at comedy. It's where a school of geniuses make a laser that can vaporize a human target from satellite. It's also the movie where they use voice of technology as a college prank through a guy's filling. It's a pretty sharp movie. It's got Napoleon Dynamite's uncle, Uncle Rico, is in Real Genius. Go watch Real Genius with Val Kilmer. It's his best movie. And it's funny. It still holds up as being funny. As William Atherton as the guy that exploits, spoiler alert, exploits Val Kilmer and takes his laser technology and weaponizes it. The movie opens with it. The movie opens with them vaporizing a guy from satellite. You know, like they did to California and Hawaii to clear land for smart cities. Have city planning meeting for the smart city, and then, you know, put a blue tarp over your building like Tom and Oprah did, and then steal children and buy up the land and make your 15-minute prison hell. Just because they plan these things doesn't mean they have to get the way. Pray for the failure of the fruition of their evil plans. Pray that their plans never see fruit. And be consistent and persistent like the widow in Luke 18. That's God's way of telling us, keep praying over and over again for the same things. Not the vain repetitions of the heathens. That would be your rom noms and saying your mantra. That's the vain repetitions of the heathens. But we are to be persistent in prayer. Keep bringing it before the judge. Bring your case before the judge over and over again. And pray for help to God. And develop that friendship with God. The way we get to know Him is by getting to know His Word. And yeah, even though I criticize the Orthobrozos, I read the Orthodox Study Bible. I do reference it. I have a lot of different versions of the Bible. There's some very beautiful things the way this is writ. And I'm not against people because they're Orthodox Christians. That's stupid. I'm not against the people. I'm against the programming. Don't get programmed and pray to God. Amen. Amen to that.